David Alexander Hamil was raised on a cattle ranch near Proctor, Colorado, along with his 6 brothers and sisters. He attended grade school in a one-room schoolhouse a mile from the ranch, but had to live away from home to attend high school. An outstanding student, Dave was offered a scholarship to any state-supported school in Colorado, but he chose to attend Hastings College in Nebraska instead. Here he was president of his freshman class and later of the student body, as well as a champion distance runner. He was also an exceptional student at Hastings, graduating cum laude in 1930. After graduation, Dave returned to Colorado to become a cattle rancher in his native Logan County. It was here that he met his future wife, Genevieve Robinson, on a blind date. Jen and Dave married on Christmas Eve 3 years later in a wedding at her parents' house. The two moved to a small ranch in Atwood, where they raised 3 children, Joanne, Don, and Jack. Dave was elected to the Colorado legislature in 1938, even though it wasn't even his idea to be nominated in the first place. Once elected, however, he took his job seriously and quickly grasped the realities of politics. He emerged a leader and served for 16 years, including 3 terms as Speaker of the House. It was in 1939 that Dave became involved in rural electric cooperatives. He had gone to the public utility to try and get electricity for his ranch, only to be told that it would cost him $10,000. He only paid $25,000 for his entire ranch. Not one to be discouraged, Dave decided to look into this, quote, REA thing. Soon, he was working with others from the area to help form the Highline Electric Association, one of the first rural electric cooperatives in Colorado. Dave served on Highline's board for 5 years. In 1956, President Eisenhower asked Dave to head the Rural Electrification Administration. To hear Dave tell it,
I have to admit that I had no more intention of becoming administrator of REA than I had of going to the moon.
But Dave believed in a sense of duty and heeded the call, and we are lucky that he did. During the next 5 years, nearly 500,000 consumers were added to the lines of the REA-financed electric systems, and hundreds of thousands of others received improved service. The results were similar in the rural telephone program, where the number of subscribers receiving new and improved service tripled. Dave also began exploring alternative funding methods for rural electrics while in Washington. This was an unpopular idea at the time, but Dave believed in it and kept moving forward to make it a reality. When President Eisenhower left office in 1961, so did Dave Hamil. But in 1969, President Nixon called on Dave once again to serve as REA administrator. He and Jen were welcomed back with open arms. This is also when Dave became the first governor of the Rural Telephone Bank. It was during this tour that his idea of alternative funding for rural electrics came back into play, with the creation of the National Rural Utilities Cooperative Finance Corporation, or CFC. When asked if he would support the creation of CFC, he replied,
Yes, this isn't the plan that I had in mind a few years back per se, but it is a plan. And if this is the one that the people want to follow, I will use every ounce of energy that I have and the influence of the Rural Electrification Administration to make it work.
And he did just that. Dave also used his outstanding leadership skills and innovative talents to link the eastern electric power grid to the western one. The David A. Hamil Direct Current Energy Tie in Nebraska stands as a monument to the new technology he helped create to achieve this. The bottom line for Dave has always been getting electric and telephone service into the hands of those that didn't have it. In 1960, he was given the honorary title of Chief Beau 8, which means Big Light, for his efforts to help the Kiowa Native American tribe. And in 1969, he helped bring electricity to the Eskimos in St. Michael's, Alaska. Dave served as head of the REA for 14 years under 4 presidents, more than any other administrator. By the time he left office in 1978, he was responsible for more than 79% of the loans REA had made since its inception. Also impressive was Dave's outspoken dedication to cooperatives themselves. At a time when the cooperative way of doing business was under attack by many people, Dave Hamil was speaking to countless groups and testifying before congressional committees about the value of cooperatives. Over the years, Dave Hamil has received much recognition for his work, including Distinguished Service Awards from both NRECA and the Department of Agriculture, and was named Man of the Year by NTCA in 1973. There is also a planned addition to the Overland Trail Museum in Sterling, Colorado, which will bear his name and house his personal collections and memorabilia. Dave officially retired with his wife Jen in 1978, although except for a vacation or two, his schedule did not slow down very much at all. He continued to accept co-op speaking engagements and was an active board member of the Dakota Gasification Company, a subsidiary of Basin Electric Power Cooperative. Dave Hamil's leadership and steadfast commitment to cooperative principles resulted in the formation and strengthening of many cooperatives throughout our nation. He has served the public with commitment, ambition, and integrity, and millions of consumers owe a great deal to him. Tonight, we thank and honor him with induction into the Cooperative Hall of Fame.